Alright, so we're gonna test a phone that is around 120 to about 160 depending on which version you're getting, and especially with this early promo you're gonna get some discounts. But when it comes to the Poco C65, of course video recording is also a little bit of a thing that people pay attention to, even though it's not my focus when it comes to my channel. So therefore I'm starting the intro with it. I'm not sure if it's actually in focus, but of course it is limited to 1080p 30 frames per second. So do keep that in mind. Alright, let me quickly switch to the front facing camera so you know that as well. Now when it comes to the front facing camera, there's no surprise that is also limited to 1080p and 30 frames per second, but I can already see a lot of overexposure going on around there. That building, trust me, isn't white, but that's beside the point. Again, you're paying very little for a phone like this, so don't expect something crazy. If you are chatting with someone or on WhatsApp or even a conference call or something like this, quality is, I mean, it's not great, but it's fine. Everyone can properly see you. So really don't see an issue with it for the price that you're paying. Anyway, let's go to my city and take some images, because that is where I'm curious on how this phone actually will perform.
So the Poco C65 is of course a entry phone. It's quite cheap for about 120 euros, and you need to manage your expectations when it comes to it. But what I do like about it straight away is the possibility to again play around with the shots. This is one huge part of photography in general. Having the possibility to play around and of course change the style of the shot itself is definitely beneficial. Try playing with reflections like I'm doing here and then changing the style to black and white or C2500 or 250. That actually allows the shot to just have that different kind of vibe. And I think it does really well when it comes to black and white overall for the price. And that's the main thing that I really want to bring home when it comes to this kind of phone. It's a budget phone, it's cheap, and therefore you have to calculate it as such. Don't have expectations that it will do better than a phone that is twice as expensive or even more. Again, it's a budget phone. And for anyone who wants to have good shots for the price itself, honestly, it does actually quite well. Some shots are actually quite good, especially if there's enough light in the situation itself. Again, the styles can look amazing. I have some black and white shots where I feel like it does actually really well for the price. Again, the price of course is a big part here. But when it comes to this, just play around and have the possibility to feel around with the different styles, the different setups, because that's something that is actually really nice. H400 and V250 are definitely one of my favorites when it comes to this phone. But also, of course, if you want to capture your normal shots, it does do decently well. My comments are that sometimes it can definitely have too much sharpening, too much contrast, and overexposure can definitely be a problem, especially in video recording. But again, price comes to mind. Either way, here are some more shots that I've taken on this, well, $120, 120 euro-ish phone, depending on the configuration that you get. And again, keep in mind, even though you have more memory versions where you then pay more for, the camera hardware stays the same. So technically this would be considering a phone around 110, 120-ish for the base entry version.
Right, little mic test. Looks very unstable on this, but a little mic test on how it performs.
Now, when it comes to the Poco C65, of course, this is the latest release from Poco, and when it comes to the setup itself, we get that 50 megapixel sensor and a 2 megapixel macro. I clearly didn't go for the macro shot here. It's a 2 megapixel sensor, and we're just gonna focus on the main sensor, which is a 28mm, which is still wide, and of course an f-stop of 1.8. But overall, when it comes to the camera itself, I think it does decently well. There are some things that I want to note about the experience so far though. The phone itself isn't the fastest, clearly, but also every now and then you need to tap on the point that you want to focus on. Depending on the situation itself, it can focus on something else. Also, the shutter speed is quite slow, so when you are trying to take a picture outside, you can definitely sometimes see that a character or a person or something around you is moving. So standing still is definitely beneficial when it comes to taking shots with this Poco C65. Overall, for the price, I think they've done a fine job. I mean, you're not paying a lot for it, and the shots that come out of it can actually be quite nice, again, depending on situation. This is not going to be a phone that does a great job in low light. This is going to be a phone where in daytime you can take some really nice pictures depending on the situation and depending on lighting itself, and of course depending on the user as well. Either way, this was my take on the Poco C65, and of course showcasing how the camera performs in general. Let me know if you have any questions below, and of course if you aren't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe, like and so on, and check out conceptscreator.com/shop, where I actually sell some wallpaper shots, which are technically photos that I've taken. This helps me budget for other phone projects, like of course for instance the Xiaomi 14 Pro, an upcoming Vivo X100 and so on, hopefully. Either way, have a good one and talk to you guys in the next.